everybody. It's Linda G and Mel.
Hey, hi.
We promised Mel again, and we have a lot of stuff to tell you guys. How
Uh,
you doing today, my friend?
I'm good. I can't complain. It's we had a lot of snow in Chicago, and then it got freezing rain, and then it went to snow, and I don't know. It's a Chicago winter, but I don't know. I'm thinking springtime. I got my green on, so and you got
There you
green
go.
too, so
Him and I, we didn't coordinate this, you
we did
guys.
not coordinate this. Well, green for healing.
Yeah, that's true. We're in healing. So I wanted to mention to everybody because Mel and I are going to hit the dirt running. But last night I didn't get very good sleep. I was up till midnight because my guides kept interrupting. And they were they're loving, but they really telling people to stop fearing so much. The fear will only hurt you. And know that it's not like that parlor video that I sent you. And Mel told me, and I believe this, that it was cut and paste. It was different videos he had done all put together.
It looks like they had done it like maybe an iMovie or something, and it was just snippets taken out, and they put it
And then
together.
they added their own stuff. Yeah.
I don't
But I
think.
want to tell you that Donald Trump is going.
Oh
I
yeah.
want to tell you that apparently they're not talking about it on the news, but that Jenny Thomas and her husband, there's something big coming up with Justice Thomas. And remember, I told you, I thought he might croak before he leaves, but he's having to leave. So that's coming up.
Well, remember, both you and I said we didn't see Thomas on the court. That's right, but we didn't know why. Because you pulled a death card. Maybe it was just.
It was always a death card, but death card can mean endings.
It could be an ending, right? But
so also, I
she's
wanted to tell you guys.
Hot water.
I'm sorry.
She's going to be in hot water about that little stunt she pulled. So
yeah, paying for 80 busloads of people.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, Trump is losing his power, you guys, and the PGE, the golf people are done with him. A lot of corporations are not sending any more money. He's going to become pretty ugly. He's a has-been. He's somebody that's going to lose his popularity. And the people that are running towards him are sheep. They're sheep. And they need him for fodder. They need him. But now that they've cut down his ability to talk to people, it gets stronger and stronger. But yes, there will be people showing up at the inauguration. I do not see Biden or Kamala getting hurt. And I saw snipers on buildings. So I don't know what that means, but not negative, are snipers.
Yeah, I think it's probably Secret Service, FBI, things like that. That like if things get out of hand, then.
But FBI is on it now. Trump can tell the FBI calm down or something, but apparently they're on it now.
They're not going to calm down. I think they're too worried about, what's going to happen. But, you and I had touched on this about Trump going to Texas. And I said to you, he's up to some kind of stunt. And it was like, let me think about it, because you asked me what kind. And I'm like you, I see more violence. And you said you see it in the South, as do I. I've got a feeling he's talking to the governor of Texas, maybe about possible secession, and also something about some kind of big rally in Texas with all these ultra-right people. I see that coming, and I'm sure that's why Trump is going.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter what he does. It's not going to work.
No, it's not going to work. But, this thing that happened on the nation's capital, people are asking me, and it clearly was, it was a mob, but they had planned these things for months, because it just wasn't only in Washington. It was in other states as well.
Right. So, but did you see it like San Diego and stuff? It wasn't huge.
No, it wasn't
maybe
huge.
20, 30 people. And 50,000 people showed at this thing in Washington, but there's a lot of people who didn't show.
Well, the 20 people that show up in San Diego were probably the total number of Trump supporters in California.
Well, it's going to be where it's not cool to be a Trumpster anymore.
Well, just like back in the day, you brought it up this morning when we talked with McCarthy, everybody, there was a communist under every under a rock and da da da. And then I think it was Adlai Stevenson or somebody started calling him on it, and it took a while. But the McCarthyism went by the wayside, and that's exactly what's going to happen with the Trumpism. But it's not going to go away right away, Linda. I asked my
No,
guy, and it's going to be a while.
but people shouldn't run around in fear, because what happens is he's got these terrorist cells in his name. It's not him directing. I think it's that guy, Eric Prince. He's
Well,
got these terrorist cells, and then there's going to be some commotion, and there will be deaths. And
right.
what'll happen is people will be angry. They'll be angry about they're not gonna have any, like, remember when that guy blew up the Oklahoma federal building? Well, a lot of people held their nose and walked away. They didn't like that.
Well, some of those people that were at the Capitol and are behind this hung around with Timothy McVeigh.
Some of those people that what?
That were in the Capitol, that marched on the Capitol, and that were behind a lot of this, hung around with Timothy McVeigh. So I think that Timothy McVeigh is the guy that blew up the Oklahoma building. But I think it's just little groups that have their little leaders, and then I don't know if they'll ever coalesce into one. Kind of. But I see a lot of intelligence in the government, like Homeland Security, CIA, FBI, and monitoring internet chatter, all of that, and they'll be able to nip a lot of this in the bud before it gets out of hand.
Right.
I have a lot of people, I'm sure you do too, people are worried about civil war. And I just kind of want to assure everybody, I do not foresee a civil war.
You can't really. I mean, it's not like the days of the real Civil War with muskets.
Well,
we have, as this nation, we have the tanks and the jets and the intel and whoever tries to start it will be snuffed.
Well, I think people don't realize, and I heard some of those, ultra right calling for civil war. I don't think they realize how bloody a civil war would be.
Well, it'll be more bloody for them because, like I said, it's not the day of muskets.
Exactly my point. Exactly. But I still think before they call for something like that, they don't realize what can happen. I mean, look at what happened to the South when Sherman marched through. People were starving. I mean, it was bloody. Brothers fought against brothers. And so for those people calling on civil war, they need to sit back and think about what they're calling for.
Because we're all Americans.
Exactly. No matter how
we're all human beings. We're all Americans. Right. Quit acting like these people are no good compared to you. Because if we listen, the one good thing about America was 9/11, even though I don't know the whole story on that. But the way people came together.
It brought us all together.
These people that are in the Capitol going crazy, they need something to do, obviously. But if a foreign entity went and hit us, they would be the ones first in line.
Right.
USOB, we're coming for you.
Well, the other part of it is, I remember the marches in the 60s and all of that.
Yeah.
Where the riots in Chicago, and Daley said, shoot to kill. But nobody was calling for civil war.
No.
Everybody in those days was calling just for civil rights.
Right.
And this whole thing is geared to take away our civil rights under the guise of giving us civil rights.
Right.
That's what's going on. And we're gonna, as I said, we'll see more. But I agree, Linda, that we can't stay hung up in the fear. And I do see a point in time coming when people can reach across the aisle and work together again, and this divisiveness will end.
Yeah, it will end. It's a couple of years. And I see Biden doing a lot that people are like feeling better about the future of this country. They're more comfortable. You'd better believe those people first in line are going to cash their $2,000 check.
Well, exactly. He's going to hit the ground running. I see really good things coming with vaccinations. I mean, an orchestrated, concerted effort.
Yeah.
So that by, you said the vaccine would come out in December or January. You were right. I said May, but I think we were both saying by the time everybody got it, May or June.
Right.
But it's going to be the most concerted vaccination effort probably since the polio vaccine came out.
Right.
And
Only
so,
because of Biden, not because of Trump. He could care less.
well, because of Biden, Trump
I
will
mean,
try
the
to
guy knew that it was dangerous. They got him on tape saying that. And he said it was a Democratic hoax.
exactly.
He has been all about anger and fear and oh my God.
Everything's a hoax. But I do see the economy really slow the beginning of this year, but then kind of picking up speed toward the end part of the year. Yay. Biden's going to hit the ground running with the vaccination. The $2,000 stimulus package, Trump can say was his idea. Okay, whatever. But I see another stimulus package coming like in the spring, another $2,000 or $2,500. And
Okay.
you're right. So those people that are screaming for Trump, when they get their money, let's see what they say then.
Right.
Um,
Right.
they're the first to scream foul play, but they're the first to commit the foul play.
Right. Okay. So I wanted to ask you, what do you think about Trump pardoning? I feel like he's going to go on a pardoning feast.
Oh, he's gonna. I saw your dog. What a cutie.
That's Jeff.
You can tell that we don't like dogs, right? Wrong. Yeah, right. Our fur babies, our angels with fur. Um, oh, he's going to go on a pardoning spree, of course. He can try to do a blanket pardon for those people that broke in the Capitol and the ones that are under arrest right now. But if that goes to the Supreme Court, it's not going to work. I'm not a lawyer, but I talked to a constitutional lawyer, and it was kind of funny what she said. She said,
Right.
you can have the pardon power, but if you commit a crime or incite a crime, knowing that you can pardon yourself and pardon others that
Oh,
you incited to
that
do
that
them.
that explains the vision I had then when I knew that he's going to and everybody's going to be upset. But I saw the Supreme Court reversing it.
Exactly. That's what she said. She said, so that you can't not only commit incite a crime or commit a crime like RICO, like the heads of the mafia years ago that ran the organizations, they
Right.
can be held for that. So he can't commit a crime knowing that he's got the pardon power and incite people
Right.
to commit a crime and then pardon them himself. The court would never uphold it.
Right.
So let him try.
Let
And
him try.
what my guide showed me is a lot of those other people that he pardoned, they're not out of the woods. You
No.
know,
Oh, I know.
Flynn.
Hold on one second now. Hold on one second. Hi, you guys. I had to put a temporary pause because Jack needs to go outside. Well, what are you standing there looking outside for?
He sees a squirrel.
These dogs. First, they got to go outside, then they don't. Jack had me up last night pretty late too, midnight.
Lucky did that to me. She woke me up in the middle of the night because I thought she had to go out. We have a little townhouse, little fence in the backyard. And I came downstairs. I opened the door. She didn't want to go out. She got her toy. She wanted to play. So Gary fell asleep on the couch, and I said, "Wake up, Papa. He'll play." She was on the couch and no nudged. She wouldn't leave him alone until he got up.
Right, right. So that's interesting. Yeah, because I saw when I thought, oh God, he's going to pardon himself. He's going to pardon blanket pardons. And then my guide showed the Supreme Court.
Well, the thing that bothered me a bit was, he keeps getting by with this stuff, and there's not been any repercussions. But
he's feeling it now. He's losing
exactly.
now.
But there's huge repercussions coming. Maybe not with some members of the Republican Party, because those are Trumpsters. But a lot of Republicans turn against him, a lot of business not funding him anymore. And those shenanigans he pulled with raising money for his legal defense in the South to question the election, he put a lot of that money in his pocket.
Right.
And so he's going to be called to reckoning for that, because some of the stuff he pulled with that's illegal. So,
oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. And I think once Biden's in office, they're going to go after him on federal charges and state charges. So,
right. Right.
And I think what they're going to do is really push a lot of the state charges, because if there's ever another president that kind of favors Trump, then the federal government has no authority over what they can't pardon somebody who's sentenced in the state. A president can't. It's only for federal.
So, but I see him being impeached. It might take a month or two, but I see him being impeached.
Well, he's going to be indicted in the states and federally, but I think they'll push more.
And I see him sitting at a table. I have never seen this vision before, because I never felt he would go to jail. But now my guys are showing him sitting before a judge.
Exactly. I see that too.
And it's
But
because of this rally.
right. But as I said, the states really, I think they'll push it more with the states, because if some other president ever gets in, then they can't pardon Trump because it's prosecuted in the state, not in the federal government. So, and a lot of these people that Trump pardoned, that's exactly what's going to happen too. The state of New York is going to start looking at it.
Okay.
And
What do you think
gambling.
about Cruz and Holly? They're asking, their own people are asking them to step down.
I heard a commentator on television, and I love this one. He said Cruz and Holly might as well wear a big scarlet S on their chest for sedition, because that's never going to be forgotten. Holly is going to have to resign. I see him being called on to resign, because you know what? They're going to dig and dig and dig and find out what they can.
Right.
And so Cruz, other politicians that know him say he's the devil incarnate, that he's
Right.
just
People don't really like him.
No, he's a jerk.
But he still gets voted in.
Well, because he plays to the people, he plays on their emotion. He can rile them up. And that's exactly how Trump did it. Trump appealed to people's anger, to the xenophobia,
Right.
the fear that we're going to be taken over by foreigners, all of that stuff. He blamed Mexicans. He blamed, Muslims. He blamed everybody. And that's what Hitler did when Hitler came to power. Hitler blamed the Jews.
Yeah.
And so that's how Trump came to power, the same way. So I talked to a friend of mine who's a sociologist, and he said, what happens is people like that cause people to suspend their critical thinking, their common sense, and they play on people's emotion and fear.
Right.
And it boils up hatred.
Right.
And that's what causes them to be cohesive.
Right.
And so, but sooner or later, people know they drank the Kool-Aid.
Well, that's what some of the people are saying. They're sorry out loud because they got caught up in that commotion. They were like, it's that gang, it's sheep. They're sheep.
I wonder if Trump had won, thank God he didn't, if they'd be saying the same thing. So my point is, are they saying it because they genuinely mean it? Or are they saying it because they're trying to save their own ass?
Exactly. Exactly.
And we'll see.
There's a QAnon congresswoman that videotaped on being in the Capitol, letting people know where Nancy Pelosi's office was.
Well, I'm sure that, my guides show me intuitively that there was a lot of insider information going on.
Oh yeah.
And that QAnon woman is
she's going
because her doing that
and taped it and announced it to everybody.
Exactly. And that could be like a co-conspirator. Here's the deal. If you and I go and you go in and rob the bank and I'm with you, but I didn't rob the bank and we get caught, but I didn't
You're
do
in
it.
trouble too.
I'm in trouble too. So she might not have robbed the bank, but she's in trouble for being in with those that did.
And by the way, her husband was just arrested for exposing himself to a child.
Go figure. Yeah, right. She's QAnon, and she says that all Democrats are gay and pedophiles. Okay, but she's got a husband who exposes himself to kids.
Right. Yeah, Michael Moore's, people are sending me, I get hundreds of the same thing. A picture, I guess Michael Moore had he went on for a while. I couldn't even listen to it all. But he's saying that, it's going to get worse. There's some of it is right, but I want you guys to look at the bright side of things. Trump lost, okay? He's a loser. He's going, okay? And yes, there's going to be some more commotion, but don't worry. I don't see Pence or Kamala at this time at all being hurt by gangs or anything like that.
No.
But I see they do so much work for the country that they'll be okay. But he said, as a filmmaker, I have been in that Capitol, I don't know how many times. I could have never told you where Pelosi's office was. And one of the people in there, her people, has an office that's actually private. Like he has a regular office with his name on it. Then he has this office that's like there's no name on it. A sort of a secret office?
Right.
That's where the people went
Exactly. Okay, so they had to have insider information to know that, right?
Right.
So there we go.
But the
um,
thing my guides kept saying last night is, listen, Linda, these are Americans. These are people who are lost. So pray for them that they are found. But this man is, it's like they have no soul. It's like they're following him and they think everything, they love to hate.
well, anytime we switch and the time of truth comes is upon us, hallelujah. All right. There's still going to be a lot of those people who don't want to give up the big lie because there's something called cognitive dissonance, and I won't get into all that, but there's a part of them that knows that it's bull hockey, but another part that kind of plays on their underlying fear and all of that. So they don't, so they go with a big lie. But if you speak enough truth, all right, people finally get it. And that's what I see going on. The only thing is that Trump caused people to question what is true and what isn't with this whole bullshit about about fake news and all of that. Um, I see that Fox News is going to take a huge tumble. Huge.
Really
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
good.
Um,
What about Sean Hannity and those people?
um, well, there's always going to be people that will follow him, but he's going to be another one that's under investigation. So, I believe in journalists and I believe in a free press, but I don't believe in the right to incite all of this stuff that
Right.
happens. Hannity's going to be in deep doo-doo. It's funny. On the morning that we found out about Georgia, that the Democrats won Georgia, I was giddy. I was like, yes. And then later in the day, when we found out what was going on, for a while it put a pall over that,
I know.
you know, but then I had to go back to that and say, but wait a minute, you were right, Linda, we won, you
Right.
know,
Right.
uh, and it was a voice that people were against, the Trump BS. The other side of that, where there were a lot of people that voted for Trump, um, but here again, I think it was more fear-based.
Right. Right. But also, believe it or not, there's actually people out there that are taking a second look at Trump because of this Capitol
Oh,
thing.
there are,
That visually was not a good vision because we're still Americans.
I'll tell you a story. I have a cousin who was a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
Hello, well, not my family in Kentucky, as was her husband. They got COVID. Her husband died. She lived. But she said, you know what? I supported Trump, but not anymore because he did nothing about this whole COVID thing.
Right.
So, as I said, the truth is smacking people in the face. And you're right, Linda. They're going to see, like, what did I do? And realize that they've been brainwashed. What's
Right.
happening with America is we're going to go through a process of deprogramming.
Right.
All right. And that's exactly how I see it. And we'll get through it. We
Right.
will survive. Our democracy, even though it's perilous,
Right.
it will go over the precipice. It's resilient and it will survive.
Well, and Trump was hoping to throw Putin. He was hoping that people would take out maybe even Biden. I don't know, but he was hoping that they would say, no, you're the winner. It's very strange that he caused all this chaos, but it was always about him, never about anybody else.
Trump doesn't care about his constituents. He doesn't care about those people that march on the Capitol. All he cares about is people worshiping him and staying in power. For him, the word love or caring or honesty or integrity is like saying paper, pen.
Right.
It has there's no emotional charge with it.
Right.
He has no conscience. The only thing he gets is enraged when he doesn't get what he wants.
Yeah. Now, can I ask you something?
Yep, go ahead.
If you'll notice, they're not having federal authorities or anyone make a press conference to talk about what happened and what's going on, which is the normal. They let Americans know we're on this.
Right.
Now they are working on it because, I love the fact that they put anybody's name that was involved in this on the domestic terrorist group so they can't fly.
Oh, you told me that last night. I didn't know that.
Oh my God. Somebody took a film of a guy screaming and crying. What do you mean? I'm not a domestic. Yeah, you are.
Well, isn't it wild? Like they're the first to scream foul play
Mhm.
after they get caught committing it.
Right,
Like
right.
those
But
people.
but what do you think? Why aren't they coming forward?
I'm sorry.
Why is Intel or the police, Washington, even anybody coming forward and saying, okay, here's what's going on. This is what we've done. This is what we found out.
Because they don't want to give them any information or any bait. There's an old saying. I used to work a lot with police departments. I still do occasionally on murder cases and things. But when somebody's under investigation, you don't tell them they're under investigation. So I think they're being
Oh, so
silent.
maybe it's even bigger, like we're thinking. The inside group, they're looking at them, but they're not announcing it. Like it's well, we're starting with Trump. The president of the United States was involved. And how do you go before people and say the president of the United States was involved?
Linda, it's huge what they're looking at. And
Yeah.
so they have to be very careful about what they say, to whom they say it. And they're not going to tip off anybody. All they're going to say is, we're looking into this or we're investigating this, period.
Right. But no update because people were all upset. Why aren't they giving us updates?
Oh, they're doing a lot more than what people think. And, remember, in the Trump years, there were so many leaks. I mean, the White House was like a sieve, there were leaks everywhere.
Right.
But, now I think there's a lot of people, even those around Trump, that are relieved that he's going. And I think that they're all taking a sigh of relief too, in the FBI. There might be some for Trump, but pretty much not. I think they're like,
Okay.
so, there's not going to be as many leaks as about what they're doing now as we once saw. There is going to be a lot of leaks coming out more about what Trump did. And there's
Right.
going to be people close to him writing books, even in the cabinet members talking about the crap he pulled.
And the people in the room.
And the people in the room. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Because I saw people squealing. As soon as he comes off that podium, I saw people squealing.
You know, I asked my guys, I'd love to see what he's doing right now.
Yes.
And
Yes.
show me a picture of him just like red in the face, the veins popping out, him just screaming and just, especially when he found out he couldn't get on Twitter. I even think he threw the cell phone and broke it.
Well, I feel that they said you can go before the press and make statements, but I don't feel he wants any questions thrown at him.
No, because, what's he going to say?
He didn't call the family of that slain police officer because he's part of it.
Well, because he was for the people who stormed the Capitol.
Right.
He didn't even put the flag at half-mast until the next, when, I think Congress or the Senate had it up right away or whatever but the White House, it took them over a day to get it up.
Right.
The
Right.
flag is.
Right.
I won't touch on the rest of that statement when it comes to Trump.
Yeah. So, those people are, and also he's telling people not to move on it, just like when they were requesting the National Guard, Washington mayor did, and they were like mute. And then it got worse and worse. And then finally Pence overrode Trump and called them in.
Well, people are asking about the 25th Amendment. I think we touched on that, but I don't like Pence, but I don't think he's, as I said earlier, I don't think he wants to do it because that could unhinge Trump even more. And I think they're trying to just keep him kind of at bay, keep the tiger in the cage. Because if you let it out, it's going to take a while to get those things to the House and the Senate for the
Right.
for the 25th Amendment. And I think they're afraid that he really might do some horrible stuff. So,
well, his staff is saying that he will not be at the inauguration.
Good.
And he
But
plans on leaving.
But Pence will be there.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I predicted too. But
Exactly.
But also that he plans on being out of Washington before, like maybe a few days before. He might be out by the 17th.
I'm thinking 17th. He'll sneak out the back door.
But if they have those people, like they're saying, coming to create chaos, it'll look better for him to be out of the way. But I'm not seeing, listen, I could be wrong, but I'm not seeing Armageddon. I'm not seeing it.
No,
I would tell you because I would want to warn you.
It's not
But
going
my
to
guys
happen.
just keep saying, listen, everybody's, because it was such a shock. Just after 9/11, people were always worried. If you were talking about anything related to 9/11 at a restaurant, they were calling the FBI.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
People were frightened. So, what happened is we're frightened. So we're creating chaos. But trust me, a lot of these people have already been found out. I see the FBI on it like flies to what. There's
You know,
major intel coming on, and they're going to wipe them out.
they are. And you know what, Linda? There's ways for us to channel our anger at what happened and our fear.
Yeah.
I went on my channel and said, call your congressperson, call your senator, unless it's Nunes, and just tell them, that you want him out of office, you want impeachment, you want da 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 da. I did. And I
Yeah.
felt like I was doing something constructive and letting the fear and the anger push me forward,
Right.
not creating more violence. That's what we have to, we have to stand up and fight, yes, but not violently.
Right. Right.
And
Did your
so I
guide
think,
say anything else we should know today?
well, I ask a lot of stuff. The good news is I think the mid part of this year, travel is going to pick up. Yay.
Yay.
So people will be traveling again. I think when you travel, you'll have to show your certificate of vaccination, against
They're
COVID.
going to take that to the Supreme Court too.
I know they will. They
We
will.
don't have to take it. We shouldn't have to take it.
Oh, and by the way, I see new justices on the Supreme Court. So I see it that the
This
slant
year,
this year
or
or next.
time frames are hard, but
Yes. Science, I'm a science geek, but I am predicting within this year or even next, or a couple of years, actually a cure for HIV, for AIDS.
oh, awesome.
The technology is kind of there. There's a cure for hepatitis C.
I
And
know. That was amazing.
yep, and I think they'll use a lot of that same technology. This virus is going to keep mutating, so they'll have to predict which particles to put in the vaccine to give us.
And then it'll be like a flu shot every year.
Exactly. People, please don't listen to the conspiracy crap about it's going to rewire your DNA.
Oh, that's a bunch of crap.
As soon as I can get the shot, I'm going to get it.
Me
I don't
too.
want COVID
But
again.
I get people sending me stuff about this dark. People just want to create chaos.
Exactly.
You don't want the shot, don't do it.
The 2022 midterms, my guides tell me we'll hold the Senate, get more seats in the Senate, and gain more seats in the House.
Yeah, because of the good things they'll be doing for the
Because of
Americans.
the good things they'll be doing. Mitch McConnell can kind of kiss his butt goodbye after this.
Yeah.
I see his wife
He's in trouble.
well, in trouble. Yeah, right. True.
Now, Murkowski said if Trump didn't step down, she would leave the Republican Party.
You and I had predicted this as well. I was seeing like 2, 3, even more senators going from the Republicans over to the Democrats, which they could do.
That's what I was feeling. That's right.
There are decent Republicans. I think, that party is going to kind of have a civil war, not a bloody civil war, but within itself, because the Trumpsters against the more, the Republicans.
Yeah.
It's split. It is split.
Right.
That's why, I support the Lincoln Project. I don't support their politics, but I support them standing up and speaking.
Right.
So I think you'll see a redefinition of the Republican Party, but not the Trumplicans, if you know what I mean. All right. Mitch McConnell, I think he's done. After this, he should probably retire. And I think he will.
I think
I don't
he's thinking about it.
Yeah. Yep. I see more than one stimulus package coming in 2021. I see at least 3 or 4 of them coming.
Right.
I think we're going to have healthcare reform where it will be affordable.
Hey, but listen, didn't Trump make a nice big health care plan for us?
Oh, yeah, right. I'm still waiting for it. They're going to uphold Obamacare. They're not going to bring back pre-existing conditions.
Yeah.
I see, as I said, more justices on the Supreme Court.
Yes, I think that's going to help with the things that are coming up.
Right. I am going to go forward in time and say that by 2030, most of our vehicles will be electric and or hydrogen.
Right.
So yay. I see the United States going back in the into the Paris Accords,
Yes.
and really putting an emphasis on clean energy and environment, and kind of restricting a lot of these coal companies and a lot of these like the Koch brothers.
But the thing is, Biden's going to make sure that there's jobs. I don't know what he's doing. It could be with the Green Deal, but he's going to make sure that these guys that don't have jobs in coal have jobs someplace else.
What I see happening is, see, they're going to kind of institute something like during the Depression that was that FDR did, like the Civilian Conservation Corps. They won't call it that, but jobs to the federal government giving grants and loans to businesses to build up the infrastructure like bridges, railroads,
Okay. That's what I saw. Yeah.
all the things that are crumbling.
Like the New Deal with Roosevelt.
Exactly. So that will create jobs. I see
Right.
better Social Security benefits and better Medicare benefits. So,
And he's going to up the taxes on the people who got the breaks, right?
yes.
He's going to reverse all that.
Well, here's what I think they'll do. I think they'll say, if you bring jobs back here, we'll give you your corporate tax break. If you keep them overseas, you're going to have to pay a lot more.
Okay, there you go.
And I think, he will, there's nothing wrong with being wealthy. I love a success story.
Right.
But he's going to make sure they pay their fair share and take the burden off of the working class, the middle class.
Exactly. And these guys, these CEOs making all this money, and then there are people barely getting minimum wage.
And I think there's also going to be reform coming in the Senate where they can't do the insider trading and make millions, because they're playing to their constituents.
Oh, speaking of insider trading, did you see what Loeffler admitted to?
No.
It wasn't an interview, an inside information. Apparently, Trump, when he went to Georgia, he told her, if you don't protest against Georgia and be with the gang on the Electoral College, I'll go up on that stage and ruin you.
Wow. Then why didn't she wait? Why did she wait until now to bring it out?
Right. Well, the good news is when that thing happened she was like, I was going to protest, but now I can't.
But now I can't. Right. Yeah. Well, that shows she had somewhat of a conscience.
Right. But what do you think about Jim Jordan getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom? I think we're going to have to change that medal because the crap in the room got it.
Well, exactly. And here again, that was Trump giving the middle finger to honesty, and kind of, so I think what they're going to do is kind of say, okay, Bill Cosby got it too at some point, but I think what they're going to say is we can revoke it.
For real?
Yeah. I don't know if they can, but I think that there's something that'll come through to say we can revoke it.
Well, it may be, remember what we said in a couple of years, they'll find out how he won the first time. Right. And that he was a traitor to this country. Because people are going to be shocked when they hear some of this stuff. And he may, in fact, be considered a non-president. And then they can reverse everything he touched.
The Mueller investigation is going to come into light once more. And the new DOJ, Merrick Garland, is going to, the new Attorney General is going to look at it and say, wait a minute, there were things here that were indictable. There were things here that were impeachable. I got a funny feeling, and my colleague showed me this, that I'm glad that Merrick Garland will be the Attorney General, but I still see him on the Supreme Court.
Interesting.
So I'm thinking at some point when Thomas leaves and a couple of the other justices are gone, I feel that Biden will nominate him to be another candidate for the Supreme Court, and he will be on the Supreme Court.
Wow. Okay.
If he wants it, I didn't think that was a done deal. So, this is kind of karmic justice coming back to bite.
I know, what goes around comes around.
Exactly. So, people have asked me about the economy crashing, and I had thought if Trump stayed in office, we'd be in a depression. But as I see it
improving. I see some. But I do see it improving.
Exactly. National politics, we discussed this. There's going to be all kinds of indictments. There's going to be a lot of people coming down.
Right.
Thank
you, my friend.
Yep. And I think a lot's going to come out about, Russia and how they've interfered.
Oh, yeah. We've been
Um,
talking about that for a while.
oh yeah. I think that Biden's going to apologize to our friends in the European Union and our allies
Don't
because,
worry, we're going to make friends again.
oh, we will.
Yeah.
We absolutely will. I think they're jumping up and down for glee.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But
Hey, listen, now you have your own YouTube video
yes,
and it's under
MelDoerrPsychic.
Psychic. And then I'm going to put in the little box below how people can call and make an appointment with you.
They call my office 847-590-5411.
Oh, Jesus, I wasn't writing it
I'll
down.
text it to you when we're done.
Text it to me so I can put it in the little box.
I just got to say to everybody, Linda we've become very, very good friends.
Buddies. When stuff is going on, we start chit-chatting together.
We start chit-chatting.
He's like, girl, are you seeing this crap?
Do you believe that BS? And Linda, thank you. You encouraged me to get my own YouTube channel, even though my guides had told me to do it for years and I didn't listen. So
Right. That's so weird how they do that. I mean, they told me straight up, you're going to do a YouTube channel.
In the face.
Yeah.
But thank you, Linda, for everything.
Oh, you are so welcome, and thank you for being on the show.
I always look forward to being on your show. So
yeah, and I'm sorry you had to reach out to me. I had set my schedule. It's my fault, but I was reading almost every single weekend and the weekdays. My only day off was Monday because Sunday's my Sterling day. Right. And I noticed, and I'm supposed to be writing this book, and I'm in a group with people for writing on Tuesdays. And I just wasn't able to, like Celtic Sheila reached out to me. And I was like, sure, I'd love to. And she was like surprised. But, it's just that I haven't had time to sit down and say, hey, Mel, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this.
I just enjoy it, and I thought it was good timing. And
we'll do it. Had COVID too, so I didn't know how.
COVID that took me out of commission for a while, but we'll do it again. I'm sure.
We'll probably have a little travel thing down the road, you and me.
Yes, I've got some great stuff. I'm going to send you on that.
Okay, we'll do a little event.
Classes too, maybe.
Huh?
Teach some classes too, maybe. Well,
I'm not really a teacher. I just come in for the snacks.
Okay, good. Well, then I'll do the teaching, and we'll just feed you great.
And I'll be back there. Where's the chili cheese dogs?
Give me the double tonic tall with a twist. What's the twist for my supper? I need the roughage.
Okay, honey, you take care.
Same.
Love you. I have to leave today and go to Angelhood for
quickly.
Right, bye. Bye, baby.